Into the crack house. Into the crack house.
Welcome to Minisode 34 of Fort Fritz. I am your host, Fritz, joined as always by co-host Mandaddy.
Hi.
Kaz.
Howdy.
And Nick Spry.
Hello.
Recently, Good Morning America released a video that the Department of Defense declassified as public disclosure. It's a U.S. Navy pilot who encountered an unidentified flying object back in 2015. Because they recently declassified this, it's now something that we can share and watch. What it is it's footage of a UFO, and this was released by To the Stars Academy of Arts and Science, TTSA. It's a private scientific research and media group. It's led by someone who has been a NASA and U.S. Department of Defense advisor. The clip starts off with one fighter pilot saying, "What the fuck is that thing?"
Really?
Yep.
That's awesome.
Another pilot adds, "Wow, what is that, man? Look at that flying." It's a very crazy...
It's hauling ass.
...video. It's insane that people, and Kaz and I were talking previously about this, and this was something that Kaz sent to me. This is from Yahoo News, but it's a Good Morning America article, so it's a very widely, at this point, it's going to be a very, very widely circulated article. Someone, Kaz, with so much trust from the United States government to put them in this aircraft that can do speeds upwards of, Mach 3?
Right.
For someone to be in this aircraft to say blatantly, "What the fuck is that thing?" What does that tell you?
This is a man who, like you said, was given dominion over a multi-million-dollar piece of equipment that you have to go through so much vetting to even get access to. It's obscene. And this man is an experienced pilot, and he is piloted these, extremely nimble warcraft around in the sky, and then he sees something that makes him go, "What the fuck is that?" That to me is unique. These are people that have to go. This isn't like, "Hey, you guy, come here and fly this fighter jet and then tell me, react to this video." These are men that have seen it. You know what I mean? And they've gone through a lot of stuff to get to where they're at, and they are openly expressing disbelief at what they're seeing. Yeah. And to me, this goes beyond the, "Hey, get your worst potato camera out in the field and point it up at the sky." This is war technology that has been honed to like a fine point that they're like, "Holy shit, we don't know what the fuck's going on."
Yeah, this footage is very measured, and I say that in that there are graphics within the entire video that are either updating numbers in real time and also showing distance.
Okay.
Showing speed and size.
It's a very close shot.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that is extremely exact. And as you're watching this, and it's pinpointing it. I mean, this thing is direct and center the entire time. You hear an American fighter pilot say, "Look at that thing flying."
Losing his shit.
Oh, yeah. Really?
In true disbelief. I don't understand what I'm seeing.
In disbelief or in, panic?
Kind of a little both. He's excited. He's like, "I don't understand. Somebody let me know what's going on. Talk to me."
It's incredulous.
Incredulous.
Okay.
Perfect word.
Yeah, good word.
There's no belief, and at the same time, it's surreal, and it's not worldly.
Like the first time you have a Guinness.
What I thought was really cool about the footage is because of the little reticular on a reticula. Was it no?
Reticle.
Yeah.
Points.
Because the reticle, the two sides of it has the dot in the middle. It looks like a TIE fighter.
Yeah, it does.
It really does look like a hauling ass TIE fighter. So
really?
It does have a distinct shape. There's different stills. A couple of them, I was like, are they flying like a legit, giant cockroach? It looked almost like a cockroach.
Wait. Cockroach or because the TIE fighter was like the H, right?
Well, that's because of the reticle, because the reticle has two lines, and so the dot in the middle it looks like it just, the ship itself didn't, the video made it look like as well.
Yeah.
Got it.
From the stills that I saw when they zoomed in, you could definitely see a distinct shape. It was a distinct shape with sort of trails and things coming off. It's very, very compelling video. I would suggest that you watch it.
Right. I will post that to the Fritz blog on realradio.fm, and I will also link then from that to the Facebook page so you guys can see it, and also Twitter. Nick Spry, what do you got for us?
So I'm going to go back into the dictionary. Let's do a spooky word of the week. This week's word is unfathomable.
Ooh.
We use sort of
You didn't go with inconceivable?
No, inconceivable. No, I
That
thought
word.
unfathomable would
Continue
be
to use
more
that word.
appropriate for hint. So I'm covering things.
Look at you. Following in Mandaddy's footsteps,
Yeah.
might I add.
Why'd you do that? It's fun.
It is fun.
Keep it themed. So the definition of this word, unfathomable, is not able to be fathomed or completely understood. It's incomprehensible.
What does that mean?
That you have no idea what someone is talking about.
What is a fathom?
A fathom. So this
6
is the root
feet.
of the word. That is correct, Mandaddy. Points
6
to the board.
feet?
6 feet.
Really?
Approximately 6 feet. So the length of an
shit.
outstretched arm. This is Old English. It comes from Proto-Germanic phadmas, to embrace. Old Saxon phadmos, the outstretched arms. The Dutch vedum, a measure of 6 feet. So there is Old Frisian fethum, or in German faden, which means thread. Because if you think about it, when people measure fabric, have you ever been to like Joann Fabrics and you buy outstretched? So they basically take fabric, hold it to their nose, and stretch out their arm, the length of an outstretched arm. So imagine that twice, your outstretched arms, as much as you could embrace, 6 feet. That is the depth of a fathom.
So every time I go to Joann's Fabrics, if I get a really short one, I'm getting screwed. I'm getting screwed.
You are.
You got to get
You
like
definitely are.
find a tall,
It's
lanky
supposed
woman.
to be like 3 feet, and they just usually do that.
Because there's a
all the
dwarf
time.
for the one I go to, and I thought I was getting gypped, and so now that makes a lot of sense.
They don't prefer to be called that. But also, I think there are
But this one was a dwarf.
I think there are height specifications if you have to work in that department.
Right.
Points?
Points.
I have no idea.
We'll go with that.
I don't
We'll go
know.
with that.
There is now.
Damn it.
I've never worked at a Michael's.
But I would think that also,
By the
you
way,
know,
Kaz is 7 feet tall.
he is. He's quite large.
My fathom is different than your fathom. I fathom things differently.
Okay, so a fathom is 6 feet.
Yes.
Is this kind of like is it the Vitruvian?
You're talking about the Leonardo da Vinci
That
famous picture in the
Naked
Kodak
dude
they did of the
picture.
naked dude with a double arms, double legs.
yeah,
Yes.
basically, if you were to reach out from fingertip to
Finger to
fingertip,
finger, your wingspan, as it were.
that would be the exact height of your body.
Correct.
And he also had a rule of thirds in trees.
Mm-hmm.
And I just recently learned this. Do you know what this is?
Yes, you're talking about the golden ratio.
Yes, but
Fibonacci sequence?
he basically just like thought about it, and he goes, maybe the circumference of a tree is the exact same ratio as every branch before it branches out into smaller branches.
That
If
makes
you
sense.
were to take the circumference of that small branch, it would be equal to the circumference of every outsourced branch.
Right.
Amazing. And now
Really?
they think that it's pretty much fucking exact.
What do they call that? Fractals.
Yeah, fractals. Yeah.
There you go.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just a continuing spiral in and out.
Yes.
It's crazy.
So yes, that's the spooky word of the week. Unfathomable. Not being able to comprehend. Because imagine a fathom, about a body's length. If you could see into murky water down 6 feet, that's not going to happen. Unfathomable.
That is fantastic.
Very well done.
That is fantastic. Applause.
Golf clap.
Ooh, thank you.
Kaz,
Yes.
what you got for us, sir?
So I have kind of an interesting one. Normally, I like
That's all we
to do movies that I would like enjoy watching or would appreciate in some way. And this doesn't sound like that at all. But it's
really?
exceedingly interesting. And I'll go ahead and just read the headline for you, and then we'll dive right in. Fred Durst is directing a horror movie based on his life, starring John Travolta.
The best freaking headline ever.
Wait.
It's the best.
I'll go ahead and run that back one
Yeah,
more
you
time.
got to really just soak it in.
Yeah, take your time.
Take your time.
Stretch,
Take your time.
stretch.
Got a lot of
Decided.
adrenaline. After
Really,
that.
like, just sit with each word.
I almost can't believe it.
Fred Durst
Ooh.
is
Okay, he still is.
directing a horror movie
I love it. I love it.
based on his own life,
I love it even
Yeah, I can't keep
more.
it together after that part.
I love it even more.
starring John Travolta.
That's just amazing. It's amazing.
That's where the flag and the ding, 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 ding went off in my head. And just like the Kill Bill sequence, the RZA produced score, I just imagine Mandaddy in my head. As John Travolta is introduced into the scene.
Immediately, I just have to think, so it's based on his own life. Isn't John Travolta like 20, 25 years older than Fred Durst?
Easily.
I don't know. I don't know if
CGI.
If he's playing Fred Durst as a character, if it's a biography, or if he's basing the movie on events that happened in his life.
Or maybe he's even making this more meta. And of course, I know nothing about it, so forgive me if I step on you. But I would imagine it would be amazing if he used every clip and every movie that John Travolta was ever in to tell his own personal life story.
Ooh,
I think that would be cool.
That's an art piece for you right there.
Piece in itself.
That's an art piece. You know what? I'll start working on that.
I just can't wait to see the trailer and the tagline of, and in the end, he did it all for the nookie.
I think like the Travolta looking back and forth confusingly.
I even thought something more powerful, and when he ended there and just looked back at Kaz, I was like, "That's perfect. That's fucking perfect."
So we do have a bit of information on the plot.
Oh shit!
First of all, the movie is called Moose.
Okay,
of course it is.
Right. Mm-hmm. Why not?
Moose. Mm-hmm. Not like a moose, like a dessert, but like a moose, like an animal. Written by Fred Durst and Dave Beckerman. I'm not sure who that is, but he's
the guy who wrote the script, and Fred Durst tagged his name onto it. Right.
Travolta is playing the title character, a rabid movie fan obsessed with his favorite celebrity action hero, portrayed by Devon Sawa.
Oh, Devon Sawa! Wow,
I don't know who that is. Who is that?
He was in Casper, back
the movie, about Casper. The
and that made you say wow.
Back,
man, shit.
Just because he was a preteen and teen heartthrob.
Ah, okay.
Like Tiger Beat magazine. But that is the only movie that I know him from. So
he's coming out and doing a Fred Durst horror movie.
Wow,
he's expanding that portfolio
immediately.
Like you were in the Casper movie.
This is not going to end well.
Next time on Where Are They Now on VH1.
Jeff chasing him down a sidewalk.
Hey, can I ask you a question?
How do you feel about Crab Newberg?
Throwback.
As Moose's obsession grows stronger, his fixation churns from stalking to ambitions of destroying the star's life.
And Moose is Devon Sawa?
Correct. No, Moose is John Travolta. He's the character who becomes obsessed with his favorite action hero, portrayed by Devon Sawa.
Gotcha.
A story inspired by a real-life fan who stalked Durst many years ago.
Really?
So he's basing it on like a stalker story that he had, and he wrote a horror movie about it, and he's engaged John Travolta to star in it. And I think that would be an extremely interesting Fort Fritz movie night.
Oh yeah,
if we could get a hold of that, and just a lot of acid, just like as much acid as you can possibly imagine.
All of it.
Just melt our faces to the floor and watch
a novel's worth of acid.
I think it's weird.
Just read.
I think it's weird that John Travolta is enamored with Moose, right? Enamored with this movie star who is Devon Sawa, who is obviously 25, if not older, in years younger than him.
Right.
So that's odd. I know every time Mandaddy has mentioned a certain actor, we have edited it out from every minisode.
Yes, have to.
So I will leave that there.
Yes, it's best to leave it there.
It's definitely it looks to be interesting.
That is absolutely fascinating.
Yeah, without a doubt.
I'll keep you guys posted as news continues to develop on that one.
And good for Fred Durst.
Right.
Yeah, I guess so.
Do your stuff. Maybe it's awesome. You know how awesome would that be?
Give him a shot, man.
All right. Okay. Give him a chance.
Right.
Give him a chance. For those of you that don't know, Devon Sawa was also the lead actor in the first Final Destination. And in the classic Idle Hands.
Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
I know
That's
who that is.
Devon
Okay.
Sawa.
Oh, okay. And the fact that you have to say the first Final Destination.
Because there's like 9 of them.
I know, but there should be. It's called Final Destination.
It should have been at the last place.
Yeah.
The first one.
Yeah, but also...
Not quite the penultimate destination.
We're getting there.
I hear also, though, that the first Final Destination is really good.
It's
I've
awesome.
heard that.
It's
I've heard
awesome.
that.
Oh, it's great. Saw it in the theater.
Never checked it out.
Daniel Travis, who was on season 1, he did the great story about White Rain.
Yes.
His biggest pet peeve when it comes to horror movies, and of course we all have them, is the Now You See Me movie.
Okay.
The sequel, if you have a movie that's called Now You See Me, the sequel should be called what?
Now you don't.
No, you don't. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It was called Now You See Me 2, numeral.
Oh, come on.
Not even TOO.
Oh,
And
come
that
on.
is his,
At least.
Now you see me as well.
I so respect that pet peeve.
that is his
It's
biggest
just
pet
big
peeve.
missed opportunities, like wet and dying on your front doorstep.
What if they want to do a third one?
Exactly.
They can't shut that door.
It's
Now
like
you
every-
still see me.
Right.
Exactly.
I'm still here.
Why are you still looking?
Well, that's like the big problem with I know what you did last summer, and then I still know what you did last summer. It's like, well, no, you still know what I did the summer before last. You know,
Which summer is in question, mysterious murder man?
Dude with a hook.
Yeah. The sixth
Gordon
one is called
Fisherman.
Remember the Summer of 03?
I was
Not
I was
really.
working at like
Not
Dairy
really.
Queen, I
That
think.
was a while ago.
That was tough. That was a tough summer.
I have
Well,
trouble remembering
it
last
was-
week.
As the Bananarama said, it's a cruel summer.
Cruel summer.
I remember I sold 18 specials that summer.
Fired the very next day. Capitalism.
Impromptu story from Mandaddy. This is going to be super gruesome and super graphic. Be forewarned. 2 seconds of silence. You've been warned.
So what I got is an interesting little thing that happened on February 6th of this year, 2018.
Okay.
There are a bunch of churchgoers in their church, going to church, as churchgoers are wont to do. And they started hearing an odd sound that sounded like a woman wailing or screaming. And so they go outside, and there they see a woman wailing and screaming, kneeling at the side of a railroad track, screaming at the top of her lungs.
And wailing.
And wailing as well. I want to see the light. I want to see the light. And then she proceeded. Well, at that point, she had already, ripped out her right eyeball.
Oh.
With her own bare hands.
Okay, stop. Let's backtrack. Churchgoers heard screaming.
Yep.
She's kneeled down by the railroad tracks.
Yep.
Which was there before.
Right next to a church.
There's nothing unusual about those
No, the
tracks
railroad track
being
just
there.
showed
All
up.
right.
No.
So then when they get close to her, they realize that she has ripped out her eyeballs.
And she is proceeding to rip out the other one. She has one in her hand, and she's proceeding to rip out the other.
That is my friend. That is the fucking perfect story situation, because just imagine this person like they're back to you, and then when you get up close, you go, "Fuck me,
Yeah.
Jesus Christ!"
Yeah. It's just, it's very horror movie.
That is horror. Okay,
Extremely.
It's like somewhere Rob Zombie is like, I'm going to write that down. That's
Yeah.
pretty good.
continue. This okay.
Or he just like throws his notebook down like, fuck!
How am I going to beat that? I can't top that. It's in a church. God damn.
By a railroad track, those are spooky as shit.
God. Oh.
Now, it turns out that it was, of course, there are some drugs involved. According to her mom, she smoked marijuana.
Oh, well, that'll do
that
it.
was laced with the meth.
Wait, damn it! I was gonna guess.
Yeah, that it was laced with the meth. That there's no way she was just doing the meth, because she's a good girl. They always are. And she now says that she felt that it was God calling her, and that she needed to make a gruesome sacrifice to God, and that's why she was ripping her own eyeballs out. And so now, in her own words, she said, "So I pushed my thumb, pointer, and middle finger into each eye. I gripped each eyeball, twisted, and pulled until the eye popped out of its socket. It felt like a massive struggle. The hardest thing I ever had to do. As it should be. It should be real easy to actually pop your eyeballs out." And she just said that she wanted to see the light.
Damn!
Right?
Okay, another quote of hers, which is my personal favorite. "I had squished them. Although they were somehow still attached to my head." So there are still nerve fibers going, back to the face. It took a team of police to calm her down, and she was airlifted to a hospital, and where the doctors basically had to clean out what was left of her orbital sockets to prevent infection.
Yeah, debriding. That's when you have to get rid of all of the tissue that could decompose.
I just like the mouth sweats over
I'm
here.
with you. I'm with you,
that's
dude.
super gruesome.
This might be like the most intense thing that is said in this room. That was so gnarly.
Can we just do a round?
That deserves a round of applause.
Thank you.
Jesus
Thank you very
Christ,
much.
I'm legitimately screamed out.
Squeamish.
Awesome.
Yes.
I'm screamed out.
Thank you, hardy and mighty listener, for taking this
Stick with
away.
it. Stick it with it, and not vomiting all over your steering
You are
wheel.
one with us.
Mandaddy,
Oh my God.
You still have some
Well,
more?
just she is shocker. She's blind now. She is totally blind. Nothing they can do about that. And
how's she faring?
They actually have a GoFundMe to help her out, and they have about $25,000 have been raised so far.
Is the GoFundMe to get her away from this community of people?
It should be.
Where religion is so important that like this was the catalyst for her like
freak out,
blinding herself. I need to see God's light. Somebody wasn't like, maybe we should be like Jewish or something. Maybe we should. Maybe this is too much.
Jewish people don't do this type of shit, really.
Maybe
there's not like a lot of Jewish serial killers.
I still want to believe in God, but I don't want this. I don't want my progeny to think that like this is how God thinks we should be interacting with ourselves, our eyes. It's such a horrific story, and the fact that they're going to blame meth. Don't even like meth is terrible. But don't even blame poor little meth for this. This was God.
Meth.
This was religion.
I don't know.
This was religion and insanity. And then maybe a little meth sprinkled on top.
Little meth
for flavor.
A little bit of meth.
I would agree with you only personal convictions aside because of the quote, she was trying to sacrifice something for God.
Right.
That to me screams, okay.
She already had an issue.
She was troubled, and religion was not helping.
And unfortunately, meth was added, and meth is... I can only imagine if she injected it. That is a fucking nightmare
to a person who's already manic and capable of something like that. I can imagine that would be that type of thing. Would be
a fucking nightmare.
Gasoline on fire.
Oh Jesus! Is she okay? Is she?
Yeah, she's fine. She just got a transition to being. She went into rehab after she got out of the hospital.
Thank God. Okay, so there's some kind of.
Well, hey, don't thank God. You can also blame him for wanting the eyeballs. I mean, he wanted the rehab, but he also wanted them eyeballs.
That's Mandaddy at Fort Fritz.
Yeah. But that's my little my fun little story for the week.
Well, there you go. Thank you. You know what? But you know what? We all rolled together with that.
I liked it. I feel like we've gone through something together.
That's just something. Every story that we tell, some stories that we just kind of, in a conversation style, we might say some stories that might really get to the core of someone listening, and everyone reacts differently, but that was an honest reaction. All of us were very creeped out by that.
Agreed.
So if you are still listening to this, thank you, and also thank you, Mandaddy, for bringing that up. It's very brave. It's a very tough story to tell. You have to, though.
Right.
I want to hear it with the sound effects that you do normally in a story.
I don't know.
That was a little insensitive.
From me?
No. I feel like drained.
Well, let's take a break.
All right. Well, that is the Minisode. Thank you very, very much for listening. Remember, the main episodes have a lot of more fun stories. Not quite as fun as that one, but a lot of fun. So please check out the full episodes. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell people you don't even know. Ride down the street screaming our name from your window. That's all we ask, and I don't think that's too much. Thank you very much for listening to Fort Fritz.
Also, fun is subjective.